Hello everyone, this is Diane. It is late Sunday afternoon, about 3:30, and I guess that's mid-afternoon, and I am having a little bit of a playtime. So I finished using this journal. This is the one I've been writing in, and I didn't show it at all because I didn't really have to add much to it. The only thing, like I said in one video, the only things I had to do were to glue magazine images to backing that I could write on. I don't think I added too much to the pages. So yeah, I finished it last night. So I'm going to show you what book I'll be moving into, and it is another journal that I made. I created this one last year. And I created this one. I don't know if I put the year on it. Oh, this is the one that was last year, 2025. And I can see I need to glue that corner of her skirt down. And I did this in May of 2025. I made 3, I believe, and sold 2. And kept this one. So, you know, I do keep a lot of my journals, and I use them. So I'm going to be using this one. And I'm looking forward to this. I haven't used a vintage / kind of grungy style one in a while. So I'm looking forward to that. And I don't think I need to add too much. It's pretty full, but I can add some. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to make something that I think I will put in it, and because I want to try out this new pair of stamps that I got. Where's the other piece? These are from Crafty by Tony, who has a shop on Etsy, and I will link her shop below. So this one is French Ledger, and this is a set of 4 French invoices. So they're the bill heads that would go at the top of the ledger, and they were made to fit together. So let's try these out. I wanted to play with them, so I thought I'll make one that I can put in my journal that I'm going to be writing in. I have my Misty out, so I think that will be the best way to line things up the way I want them. I looked through my pouch of scraps of coffee dyed paper. I think this is just wide enough. It was folded, but we're going to go ahead and use it. It'll look like an old invoice. It just barely is wide enough for it. So I'm going to put this in the corner. And I'm going to put the magnet right down here because there's a tear in the bottom. So I need to make sure I save room for the bill head though. So which bill head do we want? It's all in French. This one looks like a farm. No, it doesn't. It's a shipyard. There are ships here. I don't know why. Those look like barns. These are definitely factories with smokestacks. I think I'll use this one. I don't know what it is. It looks like a street shop and an inside with wooden floors and a desk. I'm going to use that one. So let's take things off of the plastic backing. If you haven't seen Tony's stamps that she has made, she designs them and gets them made. And she has washi tape too, I think. I have some of her stamps. And they're all this type. Things that you can use to create your own vintage ephemera. Yep, that fits, just barely fits on there. So it's good that I can use my Misty, given to me by my friend Jeannie. Thank you so much, Jeannie. so that I don't miss the mark if I'm using it on a block, you know. So I'll just pick the stamp up and ink it. I think I'll use a brown, dark brown, because when a black ink fades, it turns brown. So it's going to look like a faded brown or a faded black ink. And not only does Toni have these beautiful stamps, which are a fairly new addition to what she does. It's, I don't know, maybe a couple years she's been doing the stamps. But her creative skills are awesome. So that magnet moved up and was in the way. So it's fun to watch her create the things she creates. Okay, that's nice. It's got a couple of skipped spots there, but that just makes it look more vintage, and I'm fine with it. I'm going to move the magnet up, leaving the sheet in place. And I will add this. I don't want that to mark up my paper. Oh, that is so beautiful. And it already looks old because it's on coffee dyed paper. There's a couple holes in it and it's folded. I'm going to trim it at the top and bottom, but that will be ready to go in my journal. I can show you the other stamp sets I have from Toni. I haven't bought any in a long time. She's had other sets in there. I thought I had more than this, but maybe I do. I was thinking I had 3 sets, but I'm seeing 2. So this one is all of these things line up within certain lines there, so you can just mix and match and add things that you want. It doesn't have a name. Oh, these are 2 sets. That's why I thought I had 3, because I did. And these, I didn't think I needed these till I saw her demonstrate. So you would stamp this in a color, and it just, and I thought, well, I can just color it in, but it does not look like this when you stamp it. It just has a different look than if you colored it in. So that would be the end of the ticket. Could do both ends or just one end. This could be the coloring in of that. So you can play around with that. I haven't played with these as much as I should. And these are just some smaller pieces. So those are some really fun things from Toni, and she has a lot more than that. Okay, so we have this made. Let's see if we can find a place to put it right now. So this was made with a very old book. It's tattered and faded. And you can see it's torn here. This looks like a book corner, but because of the way this is torn, I can see that it's just this shape of fabric laid on top of it and edged in gold. So it wasn't a leather corner. It doesn't look leather, but it's not an added corner. But I really like the way that looks, and I like that it's torn there. I added muslin strips across the spine before I sewed it. A cabinet card that is a genuine antique cabinet card, and a genuine, it's probably an antique pin. One of the stones is missing, but I thought it looked so pretty there. And some vintage lace and vintage buttons. I love this. And then I just jazzed it up with some beads. So I'm looking forward to playing in this. I can unscrew this if it bugs me too much, because this is a screwed on piece. All right, so let's see where I have a place to put that tag we just made. This book would take me a long time to fill up. Let's tuck it in here. There. Now I have some vintage stuff here that I can use to add to the pages, and this is more vintage collage-y stuff, scraps of wallpaper and doilies and stuff like that. So I can pull out of these. And these are some pieces that I just got recently at the flea market this past year. These are the envelopes that the baking powder ephemera came in, but I had to tear them to get the stuff out because the flap was stuck to the backs of one of the booklets. But I saved them because I love that text, useful information. And just some other little pieces that I've gathered. These old calendar sheets, so I can use some of these fun things. And I could add some digital elements too if I wanted to. Let's just see if I need anything to get started. I could add something fun here. I'm starting this in July, but it's almost August. Today's the 26th of July. I don't think the dates match up on this. 26 is a Friday. This is 1918. So I'm just going to put the August page here. And I think for fun, I am going to, if I can find a little red circle stamp, small enough, I'm going to stamp it around the 13 because that's my birthday. This might be, I think that might be for a reinforcement. So I'd have to stamp it very lightly in order to not cover up the circle, or the 13. I could stamp it with just a solid circle in a light color. Might as well put these stamps to use. I've got green and I've got this red. I'm going to go with a little red accent on this. This is mulberry. I'm going to stamp it on a piece of paper just to see if I like it and if it's not too dark. That might be too dark. Let's see. I'll just stamp it once and then stamp it on here. Yeah, I can see the date. And because the circle overlaps, it actually overlaps my mother's birthday. Hers is the 20th. I'm going to just put a circle around the 13. And then I will glue this down, but I want to make sure I don't want something else glued on it also. I don't know if that just messes it up. Maybe I'll just add this. I could put a little scrap of wallpaper behind it. This has a straight edge, and I don't want to tear it to make it a torn edge, so I'll just do that. Okay, we're going to go with this. I love this journal, and I don't want to mess it up. So I might be overthinking things. Okay, I don't think I'll write on this page. Just want it to look nice when I open the journal. I'll probably wait till I get to this page to start writing. And I have this space and a ledger page and the back of a tag to write on. And I can write on her too. I did some stamping up there. This is from sheet music, and I just think that border is so pretty. My two wire-bound topsy-turvy journals are going in the shop tomorrow morning, so when you see this video, they will have already been listed and hopefully already sold. And I think I'm going to try to make myself just do some ephemera videos before I start making the next journal. I'm going to stick that coupon there. This is from some train ephemera. Please keep this check-in site and take it with you if you leave your seat. It's got a bunch of numbers there that were probably marked. And I like this little ticket. So I'm just gonna staple it right there, I guess. Lots of writing space. There's the the card that we just made, and there's space to write on this. This is a digital that I printed on coffee dyed paper, and it's an image of a fabric sample book. And this is house paints. It came out of a Sherwin-Williams little catalog or book magazine or something. I don't know if it was Sherwin-Williams, but most of the ones I've had like that are Sherwin-Williams. I brought one of these over here with me, but I already have one there. This was attached to a tiny Hallmark card with a little teardrop shaped paper clip, and you can see the mark of the paper clip. Let's just add this little girl here. I think I'd like to use some of my Amity Bloom washi tapes. This is a washi tape, but it's not Amity Bloom. These are my Amity Bloom tapes. I'll add a little piece of this one along with that. It's like part of a wallpaper, the edge of a wallpaper. It says join here, and then it's got the color sample right there. Union made. If I was selling this book, I would glue these pieces, but since it's going to stay here, I can always glue it if they start to lift up. I love this one with the blues and the caramel color. Got a little bit of blue on it here. Now I think I could add an image, one of my vintage lady images here. This is a digital. So I'm going to go get my vintage ladies. I have them divided up by decades. This is the 1800s and the 1910s. So I could separate them. So I think I will just take one of these. See how it rains. Okay, I'll put this little picture over here and the matching text over here. And we are in the middle of the first signature. Oh, let's do something with one of these. I'm just going to glue it there. I can put her on this page. A little check stub. I won't be writing on this page, so I can just embellish it. I'm going to look for one of my little Victorian flower pieces. This drawer is where I put all of my Victorian cards and pieces that come out of scrapbooks and stuff like that. And it's pretty full. And I'm pretty sure I have just some flower shapes in here. Like this. That's what I'm looking for. I love this daisy card. There's some small pieces in here too. I like that yellow rose. I think what I should do from now on, when I buy something at the flea market and I want to save a piece or two of it to put in one of my journals, I will have a special container for it, and as I'm going through and organizing and destashing all my collections, I will do that with them too. So while I'm working in a journal like this or making a journal that I'm keeping for myself, I can have that handy and use whatever would go with the journal that I'm working in. Then I don't have to just rummage around and look for things. Okay, that looks good. And I'll add some washi tape over here. There's a deer right there, so guess what? I'm going to use my deer washi tape. I don't know how many deer are on this roll. I happened to see that Amity Bloom, well, Nazi had done a surprise listing. She said she was, the rest of her tapes that she's got right now, she was going to just put in periodically without warning. And I saw that she had done that, and most of them had probably sold, but there was this roll of tape sold by itself, which is how I got it. I'm assuming it comes in a set, but she sells individual rolls too. If it comes in a set, I'd be curious to know what the set is. But anyway, I was tempted to buy a single roll. But one roll of tape is expensive, and then to add the shipping on top of it, I thought it was a little bit ridiculous for one roll. For it, you know, I spent a lot buying the ones I did, but I got them all together. But just to pay that shipping for one roll, I thought I didn't want to, but now I kind of regret that I didn't. Because I love that deer, and it's such a long design that there probably aren't very many deer on it. But the rest of it is pretty too. I love the poppies, or are they poppies? Yeah, I think they are. Anyway, I have a deer in my journal now. I like that the designs are not just like this subtle design, which is pretty, but then here I have flower song, very pretty, and then some flowers. I like that about these tapes. I think I'll put something on here that I can write on. A little piece of this canasta score sheet. Very fragile. I can write on it sideways. This is going to be on the page sideways, but I can write on it this way. I can write here. Oh, this is a piano roll. I'll just glue that here. And then I think I will glue this to coffee dyed paper and then just clip it there so I can write on the back of that. Just use one of my mini paper clips. I had some mini ones and then Lehman sent me some more, so now I have a lot of mini ones in different shades of metal, colors of metal. It's harder to get the mini ones on though. There we go. Let's see if I can finish this signature. There's plenty of journaling things there. I love this shade of blue. It's got signatures. This has an Art Deco look to it. This piece had a pedestal on it, but it broke off. Looks pretty. Somebody wrote on the back of this pink receipt. It wasn't used, but I'm sure it was a teenager in the house. Mom, Corey's cake did not get done cooking. Could you fix it or turn the oven on so it will cook? Love, Chris. I don't know what happened to that cake, but I think if you take it out of the oven before it's done cooking and then try to finish it later, it's not going to turn out so well. Just guessing, because I've never done that. And I'll put something here. Just one of these ladies, I guess. the details of the dress pattern on it. Can do that, and maybe back it with something. I love using this 1943 calendar. Got the cool numbers, the little calendar here, the name of the month, and the handwriting. I love that calendar. That's not the piece I pulled off. Where's the piece I pulled off? This one. Just looking to see if there's any color on that. There isn't. Just want a little color here. Okay. That's the end of the signature. So let's see. I want to put something on this. Maybe I'll put something I can write on here. This is an old calendar page. Look for something small I can embellish that page with. Maybe that. That's a digital image, but I made the digital with one of these antique catalogs. There's a lot of green on the cover of this journal, so I'm going to put her in right there. And this is from a I think it was 1912 catalog. The National Cloak and Suit Company, I think it was called. So I'll use my fabric ones. That looks lovely. And I'll just add a little bit of washi up there, and then we'll be done with this signature. I love this brown edging on this. Okay. Not too bad. It added a little bit to the thickness of it, but it's a third done and it's not too bad. So I think I can continue to add on the other signatures when I get there. I hope you had fun watching me add some really nice vintage elements and pretty washi tapes to this journal, and I hope that you'll join me for the next video. I'll see you then. Have a creative day. Bye.